What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by LOCKCITY. It's Whitey here today. Happy Friday. Hopefully everyone's been having a good week, having a good start to the weekend by the time you get around to listening to this or whatever the case may be. Don't know what episode number this is of the JuiceBox, but obviously it's going to be a continuation of our Blast Rivals Fall 2025 tournament taking place in Hong Kong. So without further ado, let's just kind of hop into things. We'll talk about quarterfinals today. We'll talk about results so far. And then most importantly, we'll talk about the semifinal matchups here for tomorrow. So in terms of quarterfinals today, Passion UA completely shit the bed. They busted both of our plays. We had Passion UA plus 1.5 on a parlay with Spirit and Vitality map 1 over 20.5. And then we also had Passion UA on the money line. They cucked us on both of those. Was not looking good overall in terms of results. We are now 3-7 on this tournament, so this looks like it's probably going to be our first tournament where we're in the red over the course of the last 5-6. Actually, I think it'll be. We had 5 in a row there. So coming into this weekend, not really looking good. We'll obviously look to claw some units back here. But these two hurt, and then obviously on top of that we had Spirit as the futures winner, so that now leaves us down 6.93 units going into the semifinal matchups. For the semifinals for tomorrow, we have FURIA and Pain, and we have Falcons and Vitality. We have a Battle of Brazil going on up here, and then down below, this is obviously going to be a banger of a matchup. If you're in Eastern time, it's 2:30 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. Eastern time. But let's hop over to Thunderpick. Let's look at the plays that we have on the board here for tomorrow. For those of you that watch the videos regularly, you know that all of the odds that will be discussed in today's video will be on thunderpick.io, which is one of the top books in the world for esports betting. You can deposit on Thunderpick using crypto, credit card, Apple Pay, Visa Debit, or via their new gift card deposit, which allows you to purchase and deposit a Thunderpick gift card amount directly to your balance. And Thunderpick has lines for all of your favorite esports, including but not limited to CS2, League, Dota, Valorant, Overwatch, COD, Fortnite, Rocket League, and so much more. If you visit tinyurl.com/LOCKCITYTP, you can get a 100% deposit match on your first deposit all the way up to $600 or whatever the equivalent is in your local currency. Any amount that you deposit up to $600 will get immediately matched by Thunderpick for you to be able to use for your esports picks. We've obviously been super profitable on CS2, but with that deposit bonus, you can always try your luck with some of your other favorites with that free money to play with. That's tinyurl.com/LOCKCITYTP for a 100% deposit bonus at Thunderpick up to $600. All right, so we're going to have 3 plays on the board here for tomorrow. I'm going to be running some 2-unit singles, and then I'm going to run a 1-unit parlay. For the 2-unit singles, I'm going to be running FURIA minus 1.5 map spread. I know last time out against Pain, they did drop a map. And then we're going to be running Vitality on the money line. I was able to grab this about an hour or so ago at 1.92. Looks like it's about 1.88 right now, but either way, about even in terms of odds. And then for the 1-unit play, I'm just going to parlay both of those. I'm going to go 1 unit. 3.55 times your money obviously pays 3.55 units. So first one that we'll talk about, we'll just take them chronological here. First one's going to be FURIA against Pain. Obviously, when it's 2 Brazilian teams, it's always pretty sketchy. Everyone's probably banking on FURIA to win this matchup. It looks like public consensus 83%. That does not surprise me. Another FURIA grand final seems inevitable at this point. If we want to scroll down and look at maps, obviously Dust 2 is one that sticks out. If we want to look at their most recent head-to-head, Pain was actually able to beat FURIA on Nuke, and then FURIA turned around 1 Overpass and 1 Mirage as well. The last time we saw them on Dust 2 was not that long ago. It was only in September. FURIA was able to squeak that out. So it looks like Pain and Dust 2, probably the 2 questionable ones. I do trust FURIA on Pain a second time, or on Nuke a second time around against Pain. I don't think that they're going to fumble that twice. So Dust 2 is the one that's kind of sticking out to me here. Obviously, in terms of bans, we're not going to see Train. We're not going to see Ancient. In terms of Pain's pick, I would not at all be surprised if they did take Nuke just because of the recent history. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they picked Dust 2. Obviously, FURIA is going to have to win either of those, whichever one pops up there. And then for FURIA's map pick, could be Inferno, could be Overpass, could be Mirage. We saw last weekend in the grand final against Vitality, they really switched things up, taking Ancient on them when it's a map that neither FURIA nor Vitality plays. So we could see anything here. My best guess is probably Inferno if I had to stick to one map. Or Overpass because Pain's a little bit weaker on that. Either way, I'm going FURIA minus 1.5 map spread. If you want to tail, or if you want to fade this, by all means. But if you want to tail it, definitely hop on that. Furia's odds there, 1.85 times your money, unless that's changed. Let's take a peek. 1.78, so it slid down a little bit. But 1.85 I think is a good value spot. I wouldn't personally bet it any lower than like 1.75, so if it does start to slip, maybe look at alternatives there. But I like that for a first leg. And then the second one here, we're going to be going with Vitality as a single, 2 units, 1.92 times your money. It slipped down to 1.88. I would play it down to probably 1.80. I don't think it's going to slip down that far, but I do think Vitality wins this. Reason being because once Falcons gets to the semifinals, they can be incredibly sketchy. Let me get back over here to my bets in action. When Falcons does get to the semifinal, it can be completely sketchy. Vitality did not look great today against Spirit. Spirit was fumbling their way through this tournament. They were able to keep it really, really close with Vitality. It was a 3-mapper. All 3 maps went 24 rounds or more. We saw 2 go into overtime. So they really pushed them to the brink there, but Vitality obviously was able to squeeze it out. If we want to look at maps here, obviously, I think Falcons is probably going to win a map. I think the over 2.5 is probably a really good bet in this one as well. I do want to wait and see what the map selection is before I hop on that, but I do think over 2.5 is probably more than realistic. I think this is going to be super close. On the Vitality side of things, they're going to need to win Dust 2. They're going to need to win Inferno. We're not going to see Overpass. We're not going to see Ancient. And then Nuke, Train, and Mirage. They're going to have to win one of those 3 to be able to get past Falcons. I think their best chance is probably on Train. I think Falcons would probably win Mirage. I think Falcons would probably win Nuke. But this feels like a 3-mapper to me. I am going Vitality on the money line. I feel like that Vitality Furia storyline in a grand final, that'll be the 3rd time that they've played in the last 7 days, going back to last Sunday. Then they met already this tournament. Hopefully we'll be meeting again on Sunday. But I'm going to be going with Vitality here on the money line. 1.92 times your money. Again, 2 units pays 3.84 units. And then I have those 2 combined over here. Furia minus 1.5, Vitality on the money line. 1 unit there pays 3.55 units. So these are going to be the 3 plays that I'm rocking with for tomorrow. Again, might be going with over 2.5 maps on Falcons and Vitality. So if you're not in the Discord, at the bottom of the screen there, discord.gg/LockCITY, 100% free. Come hang out in our CS chat. Come tail our CS2 cheat sheets. We'll be talking in there all day, and a lot of server members have a lot of good eyes on CS here. A lot of people that are really in tune with what's going on. So make sure to hop in there, talk with the gang here, and let's all make some money together. We'll see y'all tomorrow for the grand final. Hope everyone has a great night. Take care and peace.